Dewey looks like such a happy little dog. Aren't you? You too, Bubs. So Hannah and I were just getting ready for my residence interview. All the documents ready to go. We're just gonna take an Uber down there and go from there. We're here. I'm a resident of the United States now.
You're a conditional resident.
Conditional. There's conditions.
It's like so nerve-wracking. I was like having a panic attack and I'm like, this isn't even about me.
Yeah, he was asking me all the questions
But
and Hannah was nervous.
He's very interested in our YouTube, so if our immigration officer is watching this, hi.
Hi Josh. I think it's Josh.
Anyways, we're just trying to find somewhere that has the Wi-Fi so we can get an Uber.
Or we can just call a cab company, but we think we're gonna go out and celebrate since we don't have to worry about Derek having to leave the country, so that's very exciting.
We just used the Holiday Inn's internet and
The
we're gonna
Radisson.
go. Well, technically, the Radisson is owned by the Holiday Inn, so.
Oh, is it? Okay. So we're gonna take a Uber up to Tucson Tamales.
Which is like right next to our apartment. Get
Very
some tamales.
Never had tamale before.
I just want a bunch of avocado. And then it's right next to Safeway, so you can walk home.
Exactly. Alright, that place was like incredible.
Ridiculous.
So good.
Amazing.
Tucson Tamales.
Marvelous. Fabulous.
Mexican food, like
Crazy good.
not like oily or anything like that. Like just tasty and like affordable and
Healthy.
booyah. Tucson Tamales. Check it out. Not an advertisement. Just really good. Dewey, what happened here? What happened?
I don't know if you're ever gonna get away with that.
Dewey. Alright, so the mission yesterday was to get the bike box. Today's mission is to get the actual bike into the box. So my illustrious career as a cycle tourist and traveling around so much, I've done this probably at least 6 or 7 times. I've packed a bike into a bike box. So it's not like super complicated or anything like that. There's just some things that you want to do that just kind of makes it a little bit easier. And that also prevents your bike from being damaged and things that you need to do before you actually get to the airport. Something else, Hannah's been bugging me all day because she's so like worried that I haven't packed yet. And I'm like, well, my flight's not until tomorrow. I'm like, I could pack my bike in the morning if I wanted to, but I'll pack it tonight just to be on the safe side. All right, so first thing that you want to do is you want to take off the pedals. So you can't fit a bike into a bike box when it has its pedals on, or else it'll just kind of stick out crazy and the pedals will just bust through the box. So you want to take them off. If you haven't taken your pedals off your bike in a really, really long time, there's a very good chance that they'll just kind of be actually locked to the crankset, just because it's been such a long time since they've been loosened or lubricated. So you might actually need like a pedal lever. What I would do is, if you can't get your pedals off, is just take your bike to a bike shop. They can loosen it up or actually just break the seal, tighten it back up just a little bit, and then you can just take them off at home. Any of the things that you take off of your bike, what you want to do is you want to put it into one bag. Especially greasy items like this, you just want to put them into a bag. Next thing that you want to do here is take off your seat. What I've actually done here is I've put a piece of black electrical tape to mark my seat post height, because once you take this out and you try to put it back in, you need to know exactly where it goes so that you have the same bike fit from before to when you rebuild your bike. Since my bike frame has this fancy little doohickey that holds my my seat posts in place, I'm gonna put this in my special bag as well. All right, next thing is gonna be the front wheel that I'm gonna take off. Take your front skewer, put it in your special bag of parts. Next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take off basically the front little bracket on the stem so that I can remove the handlebars. Alright, so the handlebars are off. I'm gonna re-screw the stem plate with the 4 screws back onto the stem. This is super important. Alright, so the stem plate is back on, the screws are tightened back in there. You want to put the screws back in there just because you do not want to lose them. So you just want to make sure that they're nice and snug, not obviously super tight that you can't get it off, but just snug so that it's not going to come out just from a little bit of vibration. Alright, so since we've got the bike down to this part here, I'm gonna try to fit it in with the rear wheel on the bike and see if it actually fits. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, just depends on the size of your bike and the bike box that you have. Alright, so the bike looks like it is in good shape. I always usually put it upside down because sometimes if I have to take out the rear wheel, you want to put it upside down anyways, so I don't know, it's just kind of like just a habit that I do, is just putting the bike in upside down. I just want to try to keep the drive chain away from the bottom of the box. So with the one wheel, you just try to find a good spot. You'll probably have to kind of squeeze the box out a little bit to try to get it to fit in here properly. I'll put the disc brake on that side. There we go. And then the last item is just find a good spot for the seat. Just right on top is usually good. So then what you can do with your bag of just kind of like miscellaneous super important parts that you don't want to lose, put everything in here that you're not necessarily going to carry that's bike related with your carry-on. So if you have any extra little things like this multi-tool, put it in there with it. What you want to do is you want to just tie up the bag, tie it somewhere to the bike or on the frame somewhere or something. The reason for that is, just for example, like the bottom of the bike box can just blow out. So I do recommend putting tape on the bottom. But if just for whatever reason the bottom of it just blows out and your bike falls out or whatever, anything can happen at airports, you just never know. So tie this to your bike frame so that if something like that ever did happen, all your little bits here are not just gonna go flying all over the place and get lost. One last thing that I almost forgot is what you wanna do is you wanna release the air out of your tires. So when you check in your bike at the counter at the airport with your airline, is that they're gonna ask you if you release the air out of your tires. Just do it now so that you're not like, oh crap. You actually have to open up your bike box at the airport, release the air. Just do it before you pack everything up. You don't have to do it like all the way, but just like 70–80% of the way. You can still have like a little bit of air in your tires, but not, you don't want it like fully pumped up. So I'm just gonna tie my bag right to the tire here, and then it is not gonna be going anywhere. So a couple other things that you can do with the bike box here is you can actually print out your itinerary on a piece of paper and then just tape it on there with some clear tape. That's really important for like, you know, international flights where you have like multiple connections, so you just want to make sure that your bike actually gets to the destination. I just have like a short domestic flight, it's only an hour long, no connections, so I'm not even gonna bother doing that. So what I should have done before I packed everything into the box is that I should have taped up the bottom. So what I'm gonna do tomorrow before I get in the car to the airport is just pack all the little last things that are gonna actually go into the bike box, because there's other stuff that I can put in here that I don't have to bring with me onto my carry-on. Something else to keep in mind when you're flying with your bike is that different airlines charge different rates for bringing your bike onto an airplane. For example, I think if I were to fly with Continental or American Airlines, it would be $150 each way to bring my bike on board. So I went with Southwest Airlines. It was only $75 each way, so $150 round trip. So when you're actually looking at different airlines, when you're looking at booking your flight, is to actually look at the specific airlines policies on bike boxes and other type of kind of like special packages. Because some airlines don't necessarily care about the size, they only care about the weight. So for certain airlines around the world, this bike could literally be checked in just as regular checked in luggage, as long as it comes in under the certain weight restriction. Hannah went to the grocery store and then she went to yoga, so she's on here to do the piece with me today, but very exciting day to get my residency. Dewey's so happy that I'm gonna be around for a long time now. Make sure to catch us on the next vlog. Talk to you soon. Peace.